If your lift chair is broken, don't throw it away. Lift chairs are a little bit more complicated, but still very simple chairs that we can help you fix. So we have all the parts for this chair that we can easily show you how to get it fixed. We're gonna go through the same process on this lift chair and say, if your lift chair is broken, again, here are the 3 things that you need to check to make sure that your chair is working, functioning, and if you need any of those parts, come take a look at our site. We can get you all these parts and get your chair back working. So rather than spend the money on a whole new chair, if it's still in good condition, which this one is in still pretty good condition, we can fix it and get it working by taking care of a few parts. So let's talk about a few of the parts on here. Number 1, come on in here, we're gonna talk about the power supply. Lift chairs have a couple of different options when it comes to a power supply. This power supply here is what we call a 9-volt battery backup. You can put the 9-volt batteries in here so that they can still power the chair. But with the reason that those are important is that in the event of a power outage, you can still get the chair down into the normal sitting position so that you can get out of it. We don't want you stuck in a chair. So if you're worried ever about power outages and being stuck in your chair, I would recommend a 9-volt power supply to power your chair. Of course, you can also use just the standard power supply that we sell every day. Get one of these, you can see the green lights on, functioning, totally working. So number 1 is you got to make sure your power supply is working, whether it's a 9-volt battery backup, whether it's this power supply, or whether it's a wireless battery supply. Your power supply has to be good. That's number 1. Number 2, sometimes the issue is this remote. So you can see this is a lift remote because it has the lift, the back, and then this one also has the additional functionality of the power headrest. So make sure your remote's working. If for some reason this wire has gotten stuck somewhere in your chair, it's been cut, spliced, and it's not fully functioning, in most cases, you just need to replace this remote. On our website, you can take a look at those. Easy fix, we can get those replaced. The next thing we're going to talk about your motors. Lift chair motors are a little bit more complicated, but we're going to flip over the chair and we'll talk about those. Okay, so now we flip the chair over and we're going to explain the kind of the underground or the inside parts of this chair. It looks maybe a little complicated, but quite honestly, it's very simple. So here's the remote from this side, and I just kind of want to show you what it is. So this customer is obviously, I think, cut their chair open at some point to either replace a part on their own or get something fixed, because normally this would just be Velcroed here, but it looks like they just cut it open, which is fine. But here's the remote. So this comes in from the back. You can slide this in through the side. This customer has it over here. It's fine, either way works. But you'll see that it just comes in. It's got the power headrest remote that's up here. Again, it's pretty simple. This is labeled head, so you can see where it goes. Again, very simple replacement on the power headrest if you need to replace that. But then it comes in down here, and again, probably why the customer had this here is they had an issue with this coming unplugged, so they taped it to make sure it didn't, which, whatever, that's fine. Usually there's just a clip on it and that works just fine. So anyway, this comes in down here. What you'll see now is we have 2 motors down here. This is important that if you're requesting a motor from us, that you kind of know what it is. This one's pretty simple because the motor's either it's labeled as base or it's labeled as back motor, is kind of how it's done on this one here. But you'll see here is you have 1 motor here to control the lift mechanism, and then you have 1 motor here that's going to control the recline mechanism. This actually is the lift motor. This actually is the recline motor. But that's how that works. Pretty simple. These are real simple fix. All you got to do is pull this pin out, slide this pin completely out here. So take the cotter pin out, take this out, slides it out. So really, I mean, if you have just simple pliers, you can pull those out real simple. And then you can just put in this new motor, put in this new motor. If you have to replace this one, you can as well. And then of course you just follow the connections. So lift chair, like I said, has 2 motors, 1 for the lift, 1 for the recline functionality. If it has power headrest, you're gonna have the power headrest up in there. So number 1, power supply. Number 2 is your remote. Make sure your remote's functioning properly. Number 3 is your motors. Make sure those are right. Usually, like I said, if your remote stops functioning and making everything work, then you know it's no good. If for some reason the motor doesn't go up or down all the way, that's usually how you know you need a new motor. We sell all those parts. So anything you need to fix your chair, like I said, you don't have to throw it away. For much cheaper than it is to replace your whole chair, we can easily fix it and give it new life. All the links for our products are below in the description. And if you have any questions, always give us a call. We're more than happy to help.